everybody finish The Penguin?
I did.
Absolutely not.
You didn't finish it?
I didn't start it.
Okay, fuck you.
Damn.
Hey, fuck you. Hey, spoiler alert in this bitch. Meech, are we ready to talk about this?
Man, yeah.
Dog. This is how a villain is supposed to be. For whatever you thought Thanos was, forever who you thought Killmonger was, and trust me, Killmonger inspired me to grow dreads with my sides faded.
It did. He had the shit.
It's literally the truth. That's literally why I grew my dreads back. It was because of Killmonger.
We was in the garage when you said that. Lois the keys.
No bullshit.
He did like dead ass, not playing. He really was like, I'm doing that.
Killmonger
and
had
did it.
Killmonger had it right, my nigga.
Hey man, Killmonger was that guy.
But for whatever I thought he was, no.
We gonna talk favorite villains once we done.
It's Oz, nigga. It's Oz. Meech.
Well, that's what I like about Oz's villains is
You mean Batman's villains?
no, well, Oz as a villain is
okay.
because we're coming out of this era and it's Marvel's fault. Marvel fault, and then other properties took it on where it's like all these evil guys just got this ulterior motive where they're not so bad. The way they're going about it bad. Thanos, he want to get rid of half of the world, but it's because we don't have enough resources. Oh, this nigga Oz is like, cause I want to be on top. The fuck, like the fuck out of here, nigga.
That's it.
That's it.
Ain't no ulterior motive.
I'm not a good
that
guy.
Shit kind of fire with.
I'm not a good guy.
Let a villain be a villain.
No, wait till we tell you what this nigga did.
But that's why this was so good, because there was it was breadcrumbs where he was kind of a person where you like, I kind of want to sympathize, even though he kept doing shit that it's like, this is a bit unforgivable. But I'm fucking with you, but and then at the end of it, just to stamp it like, no, nigga, villains are back. We don't need to be halfway good. And it was a breath of fresh air because, again, as we get into the end, I'm starting to think, okay, we get into a Thanos situation. We about to come up with some redeemable situation to show why him and Batman don't agree. But over this, no, nigga, because I'm bad. I'm fucking bad.
So I'm going to give you a list of things. I'm going to give you a list of things Oz did in this show. Mm-hmm. He fucked over Sophia when he left her with the Maronis. When Vic pulled up with the Maserati. Mm-hmm. That's the first time I looked at him like, this nigga a little shady. But fuck Sophia, because we done already fucked over. Cool. Mm-hmm. But then when they got into the backstory of how he fucked over Sophia, how she got fucked over in this show was ridiculous. She so happened to stumble upon her father murdering her mother. Murdering her mother. Later on in life, started to uncover that not only did this nigga murder her mother, this nigga was just murdering women. Mm-hmm. He said, you didn't peep game. To the Arkham Asylum you go. And made all the murders fall on her. Mm-hmm. This all happened to her because Oz went back and tricked and said, hey, she been talking to this reporter chick. Mm-hmm. I'm like, damn, Oz. When they really told the story and told you what happened, it's like, damn, Oz. Yeah. Like, she was a pure soul before this shit. Great philanthropist, all this shit. She really was fucking with Oz. And he just threw her.
But that's because Oz be he got anger issues. So when you make him angry, that motherfucker just go off. And they had a great relationship, but something, I forgot what happened, but something happened with some other people and she just snapped on him. Yep. And he just... And
that's what turned that. Mm-hmm. As the show even kicks off, Falcone's son talking shit to him. Like, you want all this shit? You think this woo. Whatever. This shit ain't shit. Oz literally up burner. Mop this nigga in the first 5 minutes of the show. Mm-hmm. He kills the head nigga.
And I heard that was a great actor that they just threw away.
I'm talking about got him the fuck out of here quick.
Damn.
Quick. He just looking at him. Then we get into Salvatore. He's doing the whole epic battle with one of the crime bosses and shit. The nigga dies of a heart attack. Why are they doing the fight?
But the fucked up thing that he did to that nigga was he set his wife and son on fire.
I was about to get to that. Dang. That's why and they were supposed to have like a regular meetup. They had brought him the drugs that he brought. He was supposed to give him back the son. Gave him back the son. He was a hot. Lit them niggas on fire. So that's why Buddy was at his ass. They in the train car in the underground, whatever lab going at it. This nigga dies of a heart attack on him. The nigga Oz gets mad. Say, nigga, what? You just gonna croak on me? I was about to beat you. Woo, woo, woo. Nigga gets so mad, and I'm sitting there watching it like, he got the gun in his hand. He finna shoot the fuck out this nigga, and he's already dead. And empties the clip in this nigga. I'm like, oh, this nigga's different. But the thing that happened and what they show to show you that this nigga is ruthless, he's a real villain, is what he did to his brothers when he was a kid. They went out one day, playing, went to their little favorite hiding spot, which ended up being the crime lab at a later date. They playing with him.
They was in the sewers.
They playing with him. They went down somewhere, and Oz couldn't get down there because of his leg. Got fucked up leg, bum leg. He locks him in there. It's raining.
He locked him in the sewer?
Yeah, because, again, go back to him being mad, and he think they fucking with him because he got this walk, and here they go running down the stairs.
They climb down his ladder.
Yeah.
He can't get down it.
So he pissed.
And so it's raining. Them rains turn into like flood rains. He closed the door. It's literally the door that you keep open so the water can flood out and so the shit can drain properly.
Man.
They die.
Dang, he killed his brothers?
Yes. And I'm like, shit, this nigga Oz is nuts. But the shit that takes it over the top is the very end of the show. For me. He got this sidekick named Vic. Vic been trying to get his life together, woo, 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 runs into Oz. He sees Oz as this type of guy who can put him on. He wants to get in the game. Gets with Oz, starts doing all the crime shit, has an opportunity to leave with his dream girl. Got money too. Got the perfect opportunity to leave with his dream girl. Doesn't get on the bus. Stays, works with Oz, really is a fucking cornerstone for the nigga. Bro, it's the end of the show, and Oz has basically kind of achieved everything he needed to achieve at this point. But there's one problem. He didn't like the fact that Sophia had kind of like kidnapped his mom, and that was a weak spot for him. And it ultimately ended up turning his mom against him because his mom reveals that she knew that he had killed his brothers. She knew the whole time. And it gets revealed that her and this old school gangster that he idolizes, who he talks about the whole fucking show, this the nigga he wanted to be like, had came to the mother after the mother told him, hey, Oz killed my kids. The nigga he idolized said, hey, there's two things you can do with a kid like this. You can nurture that or we can kill him. And so the nigga he been idolizing his whole life was supposed to kill him. But it doesn't happen. All this gets revealed. So anyway, we at the end of the show. I got to tell you that to get to the part of the end of the show. So they at the end of the show, and it's him and Vic, and they sitting down. They at this park, and Oz like, man, you know, there's just this one thing, man. I can't take you with me on this ride. And Vic like, huh? And Oz throw his arm around him. They get to talking, and he's like, I can't have no weak spots, Vic. I can't have no weak spots. And chokes him out and kills him. And I'm like,
that was the moment when I set up and I was like, oh, this solidified.
I'm like, yo.
Because you got to stick the landing. It's a great show, but you got to stick the landing.
Sound like Nino and G Money.
I'm like, yo.
They stuck that shit.
That smoked the whole show for me. I'm like, this nigga's diabolical. On the other side of that, what he did to Sophia was even more diabolical. Because this bitch think he finna kill her. Take her out somewhere far, you know, it's the old mob shit, turn around, woo, woo, woo. All of a sudden, this big-ass bright light shines on her. It's the police. They come take her back to Arkham Asylum.
She's sick.
That's worse than
Sick.
That's worse than death.
Worse than death. She was ready to die at that point.
Yes.
Ready to die.
And look, now that nigga know his mama don't fuck with him, right?
Oh no, he killed his mama.
Nope.
No.
Oh.
Do you want better?
Wait, before you even say what happened, his mom has I believe dementia.
Something like that.
So, and she, because I don't even think they like actually put a word. She be like forgetting stuff, and then she'll come back at 2 and everything, and then and she's older, and they had this rough relationship, which described or whatever. She decided to leave him alive because nigga go become the kingpin. All I want to do is be put up in a at the top floor with a view of the city. That's all I want to do.
She been a battery in this nigga back his whole life.
Like all he want to do is impress her. All he want her to do is to be proud of him and all this, that, and the third. And a part of the reason why he killed his brothers is because she was divvying up her love. She loved them all, but divvying up. I love you all. He ain't want that shit. He wanted just him.
All the love.
He wanted all the love for him. So fast forward.
That's crazy.
Fast forward. Bunch of shit go down. They got to run to the hood to hide and shit. They catch her in the tub. This might be before the hood, but they catch her in the tub, and she's like forgot. She must have been this bitch all night. The water super cold, and she tells him, "Promise me if I ever become a vegetable or anything like that, just take me out, just kill me." Fast forward it up, they Sophia actually catches Oz. She catch that nigga, got him tied up. She had already kidnapped his mother, like he said, and she like brainwashed his mom. Mom telling her everything that's happened, and that's how we found out about her knowing about the boys and everything. So you got this motherfucker brainwashed, got Oz tied up. Oz just gotta tell her that he did it because she already knows. Just tell her you did it. But this nigga can't tell the truth.
And while they doing it, they got a cigar cutter on his mom's finger.
On the mother's
finger.
About to cut her shit off and kill her. And this nigga just can't tell the truth. He's a bad nigga. I just can't. No, I'm not about to do it. I'm not about to do it. So she gets up. So Sophia's like amazed because it's like, wow, you're so against telling the truth. You will let your mother even die. Which also proves that she really wasn't his weak link either. This nigga ain't got one. But so the mom gets up, comes stab him or whatever, and with like a bottle of this nigga, Oz always get out some shit. He get up, carry her out. No, after she stabbed her, she like has a stroke or something, and she collapses over, and she falls out. So he picks her up because that powered him up, run up out of there, whatever. Take her to the hospital. The hospital essentially say she ain't gonna make it. She a vegetable. She whatever. Now kick in.
So we get to the end of after he kills Vic. He's now in this predominant penthouse. He's like moving up in the ranks of the world. He's where you want to be. This nigga walks into a back room. It's an empty back room.
It's the attic.
It's the attic, and it's a hospital bed in there with some shit around it. Mm-hmm. This nigga got her in the attic with a view of the city.
As a vegetable with a view of the city.
But when he walked in this time, she shed a tear.
So she's conscious enough to understand that she's trapped like this, but she's not.
He learned to live.
And all she wanted was not to be.
All
she didn't want to live like that.
Yep.
And he already was barely checking on her and everything, so now he probably ain't finna. So then this nigga come downstairs.
And this is the part that pissed me off.
So before a little backstory, it's this girl he was fucking with this whole show named Eve. She was like a pimp. And she had some hoes or whatever, and she would bring them around to clubs and things for Oz. We seen some of these women all around the show. One of the women, Sophia catches one of the women, tell her point her where they're at. The Eve girl actually told the girl to tell Sophia where she was at so that they could have a conversation and just take me out, just protect my girls. Whatever you do, just leave my girls alone, whatever. Sophia and them bond. They end up liking each other. They end up teaming up.
So I gotta cut you off. Sophia in that moment spares Shorty.
Yeah.
She's finna leave. Mm-hmm. Eve like, hey, hold on. They down at Crown Point. You deserve your shot.
Yeah, because she had found out, because the girls that were getting killed by the Falcone father, the one that was getting strangled and everything, they were her girls.
And Oz knew about it.
And Oz knew about it. So now she pissed at Oz about this shit. So she is now, but she's a pimp. She's all about that dollar. She's about staying alive. You know, this is a real story. Niggas ain't just finna all of a sudden laser beam Oz up out of here. She sees Oz as the winner. Oz won this shit. So Oz come downstairs and she's there dressed exactly like his mother was the night that she was supposed to kill him, and she's now pretending to be his mother. This shit is crazy.
And what threw me off was, this is what you've been doing for him this whole entire
if you go back
time.
If you go back to what Sophia said when she walked in and Eve had all these different attire of how she would probably look on a normal basis, he was like, eyes don't like seeing you like that. And it's because that's her real normal attire, whatever. She's been dressing up for this nigga in some form of fashion. And then when you look back on it, in that moment, you realize this whole show, she does look like her mom. Like his mom. Fucked you up.
Yep.
Fucked you up. That was some good shit.
And it fucked me up. It's like the person who gave you up at the most pivotal point that kind of set off all these chain of events of this shit happening is the motherfucker that you're relying on to give you this experience that you're never going to get.
And he don't care because
he getting what he want.
Yeah. And then after all of that, the Batman logo go off. But what I really like about the Penguin fucking story is that Batman logo going off had nothing to do with Penguin.
Nothing.
He's most likely dealing with some other shit. So I don't think Batman 2 is going to be about Penguin, which I fucking love.
He going to be in it, but
he's the thread through all these movies, because he was in the first movie, and everything Batman was going through still dealt directly with the Penguin. Catwoman we find out is Sophia's sister or whatever, but that shit, Catwoman is introduced to us through the Penguin shit. So Penguin has been a line going through this, but he's not Penguin yet to make it on Batman's radar as I gotta take this nigga out. Because Batman low-key gonna have to work with him.
And I love the fact that they're getting to the point. I like what they did. They kind of bypassed him as the criminal, underground criminal lord, and they kind of fast forward him to when he was like running for mayor and being this predominant piece in the city. I love it.
Yeah, but that's because they gave us that in Batman.
Yeah.
But we knew it, but we wasn't taking it like this because we didn't know a show. This shit was so good that it was supposed to be a 1-season show,
and they probably gonna
about
get a
to force
season.
them niggas to do another one.
Yeah.
Shout out to Colin Farrell, because I honestly completely forget all the time that's fucking Colin Farrell. He is bodying this shit.
I'm here to tell you the truth. I hate Colin Farrell movies. Hate him. He fucked up the Total Recall shit. The remake of that shit. Hated it. The first thing I saw him in that I started liking him was True Detective Season 2. I was like, okay, you decent. You all right. Didn't like nothing else other than that. This shit here, my boy.
They hit a home run. DC, just stay like this. Don't go get Superman and Wonder Woman. We don't need nobody with real powers.
No.
The Batman universe can thrive off of just crazy motherfuckers.
Now you know who the main antagonist for Batman 2 is.
I heard he wanted to be Freeze.
It is Freeze because Batman 2 is set in the winter.
It's a Christmas movie. I love that.
So,
I love New York
we're getting Freeze.
Christmas.
So I'm sitting up there looking at all the characters we already got, and there's certain people I'm still waiting for. We already got Riddler. We already got Catwoman. We've seen glimpses of Joker, so we know
Joker
he's
in
around.
Prison.
We've
got Penguin.
We got Penguin.
Scarecrow is
we got Scarecrow, which is Julian Rush. Dr. Julian Rush.
Old girl about to go ahead and become Hangman.
So we've been introduced to a gang of characters already, and it's still early. I'm in love with this shit because, like, bro, you probably gonna give me everybody.
And Batman is moody.
They said Batman 2, like, I like what they're doing with him. They not showing him be like the triumphant Batman. They showing you the fall off. They showing you Batman lose it and break.
You know, this shit was so good. I went back and watched
Batman.
I went back and watched Batman, and
the movie,
it's like a whole different movie now. Like now, because I remember when it came out, one of my guys, he was like, man, this is like better than Dark Knight. And I was like, motherfucker, ain't. And I could see now why in totality it could become better than Dark Knight. I still don't think it's better. Dark Knight was just
Dark Knight
was
good,
too fucking much.
But Dark Knight's gonna be good for another reason.
It's gonna be good for
the
almost like
in the cinema.
Yeah,
and I think those movies are always good when people just love a villain.
And you got
they
Heath Ledger.
love the villain.
The Joker just hit so hard.
You got Heath Ledger. But look, I'm telling you, dog, the way they're telling the story over here is just much fucking better though, because it takes me back to like the movies you won't sit back or y'all won't go back and watch from like the 90s and 80s. This is how storytelling goes. They give you meat and bones. My favorite scenes from this show weren't the action. It was when Shorty was at the table with the crime, not the crime bosses, but with the family.
Yeah.
And dude was like, she was like, hey, this is what we got to do. Dude was like, nah, this is what we got to do first. Shorty was like, oh, my. Murked the nigga in front of everybody.
This is like also one of like the biggest characters at this point.
Then
Like,
proceeds to, oh, y'all want some money? Y'all want money? Takes the money, dumps it in his blood. One person pinches for it. They look up at it. She like, go for it. And the cinematic scene is the drawback pulling out from the table. And it's all of these niggas just going for the blood money on the table.
which is another funny foreshadowing because those were all the mob bosses. Later on, Oz had the underlings kill all the mob bosses because they were not looked up on the same way he was. So now they all on the same accord.
Dog.
But when I went back and watched the Batman movie, I was watching that shit and like, you don't really, again, if you just watching it like to be watching the Batman movie and not thinking about the world, not thinking about what Batman's actually going through in these movies. Because again, he's moody as fuck. He don't feel like he's making a real difference, which statistically he ain't. The more and more people are
He's
coming.
making stuff worse.
No,
Right?
exactly. It's like the more and more you keep trying to step in, the more and more all these people are upping the ante because of you.
Because
and
like,
that's
Why
kind of
don't
like
he just start killing people?
that, and it speaks back to the true storyline of the comic and Batman. So I love what they doing.
Yeah.
This shit ain't about who's right and who's wrong. This shit is about absolute power and what it's gonna take to get to it, or it's about absolute quote unquote justice and what comes with that.
But that's what I like about the end of the Batman movie, though, is like, and again, if you're looking at the surface level, you could take it as he saved the day of them niggas in the flood or whatever. But he lost.
Yeah, he fucked up.
Batman lost.
Yeah.
The whole city is flooded. But you can lose that because in Civil War or Marvel movies, they tear up New York. New York back good the next movie. The very next time we see Arkham is Penguin, and that shit is fucked up.
And Vic is a direct. They literally show Vic's neighborhood getting flooded because of that event. Vic is a victim of the situation which happened
Literally,
in Batman.
that event is why Oz is the way he is, because if Batman didn't happen, that Falcone dude didn't get shot by the Riddler or whatever, like, and Batman is directly responsible for bringing the Falcone out to the light the same way that nigga said. He's responsible for, like, the Riddler is doing all this shit and writing letters to Batman on the bodies and shit. You are directly involved in all of this shit. You are he told him straight up, we're on teams. Nigga, I said bring him out to the light. You literally did. No, they cooking with this shit.
I feel like we might have spent too much time.
We
on
definitely
it,
did.
but
We definitely did.
But that shit was fired.
I have something to add with that. I do know this. Colin Farrell on some behind the scenes stuff. He said like shooting this show was like, he said it was so dark for him that he had to watch like Toy Story on like downtimes just to like.
That seems to be a common thing with Batman films.
Batman films.
Everybody say
so
that
dark.
Batman films put them in dark spaces.
You remember the Joker?
Look at Heath Ledger. Yeah.
What they kept saying, like, if you played it used to be a thing where if you played the Joker and really tapped into it, you weren't gonna be the same on the other side. And it's like, god damn.
I love what they did with Oz so much that I'm kind of mad that I know I'm not gonna get the Joker in depth like that.
Oh, you are?
But if they gonna give it to me like how they just gave me Penguin,
I think they're gonna give you Joker in a bigger
movie,
like
in the movies.
It's gonna definitely be in the movie as well. But I think when they bring Joker, I think they treat Joker like that nigga.
The final boss.
Yeah,
because I'm still waiting on Two-Face. I'm waiting on Harvey Dent. Because I kept looking at the mayor signs in the show. I'm like, Don Mitchell. You're not Harvey Dent.
Yeah, no, because he dead.
Harvey Dent?
No, Don Mitchell. Remember, he was the first one. Yeah,
Harvey Dent's coming though.
Yeah, I just don't know who, because that Bella Dawn lady is
yeah,
the
but
mayor
it's
right
gonna
now.
be somebody to it's gonna be you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
anywho,
he's definitely coming. Yeah.
But anywho, shout out to Penguin, shout out to HBO.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, DC.